to, I think it was Common Hospital in New York, whatever the largest trauma hospital is. And I sat with a trauma doctor. I asked him, I said, what's the difference? Why are so many people, not that many more people are being shot? This is now 20 years ago, 25 years. I said, why are they dying? And they showed me a x-ray. He said a 22 caliber bullet will lodge in a lung, and we can probably get it out, maybe able to get it and save the life. A 9mm bullet blows the lung out of the body.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain to you why if you listen to this obvious liar, he's obviously lying. If a doctor did say that, figures 20, 25 years ago, he might be dead, especially if he was a commandant at the time. I imagine he was in his 60s. No, did he have commandants in trauma centers? I thought that was a military thing. Anyway, say he spoke to the head of surgery or whoever, he probably doesn't remember. If that doctor told him that, if he's still alive, his license should be revoked. If he's not alive, he should be resurrected, have his license revoked, and reburied. Let me explain to you why. What I have here for you today is one of my favorite training pistols. As you can see, it's unloaded, nothing in the chamber. See, the magazine is out. You can see that there. So this is a Smith & Wesson 22 compact. It's a great gun. I have no complaints about it. The only problem is one of the reasons I love using this gun for instruction is one of the reasons I would never carry this firearm. It's a great gun, great for plinking. It's not going to stop your threat, the threat. Or chances are it won't, unless you're just so great a shot you could shoot him in the eye or something. I don't know. But I'm not that skilled. Well, I don't know. Maybe if they're standing still and really, really still and don't move. But that's not the way interactions work. So this thing is great because it has almost no kick. So for new shooters, it's great. It gets them over their fear of the gun. The second reason I love this gun for training, because one of the things we teach you is how to clear a malfunction and stay in the fight. Now, these guns, no fault of their own. Like I said, this is a great gun. This is a very pricey little 22 here. These things jam a lot, and it has nothing to do with the firearm. It has to do with the 22 long rifle ammo. It's not designed for pistols. So I would never carry this concealed unless I wanted to die, unless I had a death wish, I wouldn't carry this. Now, do you want a gun that's one, not going to put down its target, and two, may jam up on you at any time? They do that a lot. Also, there's another disadvantage. I'll just set this to the side. This is my Ruger 365. As you can see, nothing in the chamber. Unloaded. Did I got this right for you guys? There you go. See, nothing. Magazine's out, as you can see here. So this is a SIG 365. It's my everyday carry. I want you to witness something very interesting. This same 22 doesn't have the stopping power. It's bigger with the slide in than my SIG 365. See, that makes it much more impractical to carry. Also, like I said, with the stopping power, you're not going to get that with the 22. Just going to put these over here to the side before I go over here way to the other side and get out my ammo, so you guys can take a look at it. Also, a 9mm bullet, which this is the defense round. See that? We often tell you shoot to the threat stops. Actually, we always tell you shoot to the threat stops. Now, the reason we do that is because this bullet is not necessarily going to put down a man. It's not. I'm sorry. You're going to have to take follow-up shots. If this bullet was actually capable of knocking the lungs out of a man's back in one shot, we wouldn't have to tell you to take follow-up shots because you wouldn't have to. Matter of fact, a lot of times, you might not even get good penetration. This 22 long rifle, which would you rather trust your life to? This is good for pissing off the squirrels in your neighborhood till they all gang up on you and beat you. And this is good for stopping home invaders. If you listen to Joe Biden, you're in for a world of hurt. Also going on in the news, Justin Trudeau announced a freeze of buying any handguns in Canada. If you don't think we're headed the same way in America, you're absolutely and deadly wrong. Actually, I'm glad he said what he said, because now I've been saying for years, you know, you have all these woke people who follow the agenda. No, they're not coming for your guns. Even people who own firearms, they're not coming for your guns. And I'm like, yes, they are. They're talking about this global government, right? Look what the rest of the world is doing. Australia, well, you saw what they did. They had a mandatory gun confiscation. And then not even 2 years later, when COVID comes out, they're forcing people into fucking camps. China, same thing. You can't own guns there. Great Britain, same thing. All these countries did that. Even in blue cities, no, you got to stay in your home. You can't do. And you saw red states saying, yeah, we're not going to do that. But that's what they want. They want you disarmed. See, because if it was really about crime and people getting shot in the streets, they'd lock up the criminals. You've seen my videos with Rashida Tlaib and these people. That's not what they want. They want to free the prisoners. I had an interesting conversation on Facebook, but it wasn't my page, so I'm not going to put it up. The guy's like, oh, no, well, it's just drugs and shoplifting. I'm like, if you don't think drugs and shoplifting are violent crimes, then you're wrong. And like I explained to him, you guys who watched the show for a while saw the video I did, what, 2 years ago? A year or two ago? About how Seattle had changed their laws to make assault and battery, sexual assault, all these felonies, misdemeanors, and then won't allow the cops to chase misdemeanors. I even noticed, I saw this article this weekend, I should have clipped it and saved it, where it was Seattle. And now the criminals know cops can't chase for a misdemeanor, but almost everything is misdemeanors. So even though murder isn't a misdemeanor, violent crime is. So if violent crime was here, now you've made sexual assault, assault and battery, assault with a deadly weapon. Now you have cashless bail. Of course, your crime rate goes down because it's no longer a crime. You're not arresting for these crimes. Go ahead and listen to Joe Biden and the woke people if you want to. They're going to get you killed. Also, something else I wanted to address. See if I can pull this up real quick, people.
I ask you, for those in power and who hold office right now and who are in the way and refuse to act, please promise me you will get in their faces before another child is shot in their face.
See, that's the danger of all this. So if you're one of these young folks that are listening to idiots like Francis, Maxine Waters, and these people, don't do stuff like that. One, you don't have any right to do that. You don't have any right. You may think you do, but really, honestly, you don't. Two, if you're in a stand your ground state, that might end badly for you. Now, let's say it doesn't. Let's say the mob overcomes the guy, whatever, something bad happens. Do you think Beto O'Rourke is going to come to court and testify for you? Like, Your Honor, I told you. No, he's going to be on the fucking 5 o'clock news saying, I detest violence. There should be no violence. He's going to throw you right up under the bus. Don't do that. But of course, these highly emotionally overcharged people will, and it's going to lead to something tragic. I'm telling you, I keep saying this. America's at a breaking point. And I hate to be like this, but we are. All the hot button issues are there and all coming forth. Social justice, which nobody can define to me. I get the premise of it. It's not a hard definition on it. Abortion rights. Education for our kids. That's a really hot button issue. The Second Amendment. The First Amendment, because understand this disinformation board, they also want to govern your First Amendment rights. Because see, to join the global elite, our leaders have to make you sheep and cattle. And not just here in the United States, all across the world. They need sheep and cattle. And they're willing to sacrifice you for that. So if you're one of these young people, don't go out with that mess. And if you're doing something happens, don't say, hey, you can't say Dan didn't tell you so. So, like, subscribe, share, and as always, especially in these days and times, keep your powder dry. Do what you got to do.